So I kind of forgot to talk about this, but well, there is a ban list coming up. It is going to be implemented uh, on the 28th, and honestly, finally, they're hitting Runic and Runic Stun, but not that much. They're limiting Amano Iwato to 1, and Runic Destruction, Freezing Curses, and Runic Slumber are being semi-limited. Fusion Destiny is going back to semi-limited as well. And they're finally removing the limits on Orcus Harp Horror, Thunder Dragon Roar, and Gen X Ally Birdman. Honestly, just having Harp at 3 isn't cutting it. Like, if Gyusu isn't at 2 or 3, it still feels kinda eh. Just having no good normal summon is really tragic, but for strategies that can utilize Orcus, kind of like, well, Orcus would be the secondary, I guess, is how you would put it. Not really the primary focus of the deck, but yeah, definitely the secondary. Those decks can benefit from Harp being put at 3. But anyways, Runic Destruction, Runic Freezing Curses, and Runic Slumber going to just semi-limit isn't even that big of a deal, honestly. We were better off with a semi-limit to Tip, which we didn't get, so I'll show you which cards those are real quick. So, we'll go here. Alright. So, the cards to be limited were, I believe, Flashing Fire, Destruction, and Freezing Curses. So this is target 1 effect monster your opponent controls, negate its effects until the end of this turn, banish 3. And then this, Runic Destruction, target 1 spell trap your opponent controls, destroy it, then banish the top 4 cards of your opponent's deck. And then Flashing Fire, target 1 special summon monster your opponent controls, destroy it, then banish the top 2 cards of your opponent's deck. So all of these effects, they don't really do much. In the sense that, like, even if you put these to 2, you still have Tip at 3. So Tip's effect is add 1 Runic card from your deck to your hand, except Runic Tip, then banish the top card of your opponent's deck. So the issue of just these being semi-limited, it doesn't do much because essentially there are 5 copies of all of these cards, like Freezing Curses, Destruction, Flashing Fire. There might as well be 5 copies of it in every single Runic list, because they're going to be still running 3 of Tip, and then Flashing Fire at 2 now, I guess. Destruction, Freezing Curses. They're still likely to draw into one of these, and honestly, all of these, every single one of these is annoying, depending on what kind of strategy you're playing. If you have like a field spell or continuous or back row that you need, then Destruction's really obnoxious. If you have to deal with Flashing Fire, this is pretty obnoxious too. Just having a special summon monster, any special summon monster you control destroyed, if this said just like straight up extra deck, that would be less annoying, honestly. And then with Freezing Curses, this just negates one of your monsters. This is pretty much always annoying. And these all essentially might as well have 3 copies. And then don't forget about Fountain and how Fountain is searchable by Hugin. So basically any Runic card. So any Runic card, of course, allows you to search Fountain, and you'll essentially draw 6 times. So there's 3 copies of this, 2 of this, 2 of this, and then 2 of this. So that's 9 copies, basically, down from 12. So since they're drawing probably around 6 times, like, your opponent not drawing into any copies of Tip, Freezing Curses, or Destruction, yeah, real serious doubts about this one, guys. And they still get the Hugin protection off of just literally any Runic card. If they have any Runic card, Hugin can protect. And so I don't think this ban list super affects, like, any runic list, except for the Amano Awato limit. That will matter against the stun a lot, because Amano Awato made it literally impossible for you to respond or do anything to them. And in fact, they can chain like the demise discard first, and then well, I guess activate it first, and then they can do the Awato return to hand effect. So it's just got insane recursion, which is obnoxious. And in fact, if they just put tip to 1, that would have done a lot more in my opinion, because if they put tip to 1, tip has this great effect where, if you think about it for the purposes of Runic Fountain, if your opponent activates a tip, they'll have an extra Runic card but in their graveyard, but they'll have the same amount of cards in hand. So tip allows Fountain to go hard, honestly, so the fact that they didn't limit this or semi it is actually really obnoxious to me. And the card I want to see limited the most is like Hugin, and not so much Fountain, because I think Fountain is kind of whatever as a card, because normally you should be able to just out it without like too much trouble, right? But Runic is kind of like that kid at the playground where, you know, you do something, right, reasonable, like you tag them or something, right? And then they're like, nuh-uh, no you didn't. That's literally Runic. Right here, this card, Hugin. You destroyed my fountain? No, you didn't. It's actually just utter BS. And no hard once per turn, of course. But anyways, yeah. The ban list ain't gonna do too much here. Not a big ban list here. Let's check. Which one is the one that's being put to 3? Dragon Roar. You can discard this card, add to your hand one of your Thunder Dragon cards that's banished or in your graveyard. I don't think this honestly matters that this is being put to back to 3. Unlimited, whatever. Because all the Thunder Dragon cards anyways are kind of slow. The only good thing they have going for them is that they trigger off of being banished, which is interesting, I guess. So Thunder Dragons all have this lovely line. You can only use one Thunder Dragon Roar effect per turn, and only once that turn. So if you, for example, use Thunder Dragon Dark's effect on your turn going first, then you would have a copy of Thunder Dragon Roar or Thunder Dragon Dark in your hand and one in your graveyard still. But then let's say you banish the one in your graveyard, it can't activate because you already used Thunder Dragon Dark's effect, which is just pretty awkward. So like, because of that, Thunder Dragons are honestly kind of slow by like today's standards, I guess. For example, we can go to Tri-Brigade, and then we'll just look at Kit here. Kit has 2 effects, and Kit can activate both these effects, right? You can bash any number of Beast Warrior and or Winged Beast monsters in your graveyard. Special summon 1 Beast Warrior or Winged Beast Link monster from your extra deck, with Link rating equal to the number banished. Also, you can only use Beast Warrior and Winged Beast monsters as Link material for the rest of this turn. So there's that, and then this effect, if this card is sent to the graveyard, you can send 1 Tri-Brigade card your deck to the graveyard except Tri-Brigade Kit. And then you can use each effect of Tri-Brigade Kit once per turn, whereas with the Thunder Dragons, you can only use one of the 2 effects these cards have. I believe all of them have this effect, right? Yeah. Yep, all of them have this. Thunder Dragon Hawk. Why is this limited to 1 anyways? This, if it's discarded, special summon 1 of your Thunder Dragon monsters that is banished when your graveyard, except Thunder Dragon Hawk. If this card is banished or sent from the field to the graveyard, you can shuffle any number of cards from your hand into the deck. and draw the same number of cards. Honestly, I don't know why this is at 1. Is this related to an FTK or something, Goofy? Like, what? Like, I can understand Colossus being at 1. In fact, Colossus could, honestly, even in Master Duel, go to 3. I don't think there's an issue with Colossus. But, like, Thunder Dragon Hawk? I don't know if I'm missing something, guys, but... yeah. Ban list really doesn't do much. Except for the Amano Awato being limited to 1. That's about it. Finally, a runic hit, though. It's not really a big one. This is, like, just a wrist slap. It does literally nothing. Like, branded opening? I don't know why they put branded opening in a Luber to 2. I think you could have argued there were better hits. Like, if you hit branded fusion specifically, that would have done something, but I guess it's because it's low rarity. They tend to like to hit lower rarity cards. I guess that's probably what it mostly is. It does feel bad to have a UR get hit, but they refund the UR anyways, so it's not like a big deal, right? I guess it's because Tip, Fountain, and Hugin are all URs, and that's why they haven't hit them. But, like, they should get hit. I mean, they were willing to hit, like, the adventure stuff. They hit the Water Enchantress, right? And they just don't seem willing to hit anything from Runic. So, well, not any of the UR cards at least, I guess. Those are really annoying. Fountain could stay at 3, in my opinion. Fountain's not really that much of a problem card, surprisingly. You have to run, like, a good amount of Runic cards to get the value from it. But, like, what Hugin does is just absolutely disgusting. Like, it can just protect you from basically any kind of destruction. That's just insanely stupid, and it's so free, and it's so extra. I just hate Hugin. Well, I'll just stop here before I get too deep on my Hugin hate train. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.